Welcome to Mythbusters, Master B2B. I'm Brian Beck. I'm thrilled that you're here. In this series, we take an industry expert and put them on the hot seat to answer the tough questions that you want the answers to, and Andy and I do too. My name is Brian, and I'm thrilled to be joined by Andy Hoare. Andy, for those of you who don't know him, he's a longtime expert, 7 years at Forrester Research, leading the B2B e-commerce practice, and just a great partner in this effort we call Master B2B. Andy, great to be here with you.
Yeah, great to be here. Thanks, Brian. By the way, that music is mesmerizing. I found myself kind of like bouncing my head as I was listening to it, but it's awesome. Well, for those of you guys who don't know who Brian is, he's a longtime industry consultant, speaker. He's an author of a book called $1 Billion B2B e-commerce. Very close to the space, knows a lot of people, knows a lot of things. Good person to know if you're in B2B e-commerce. And we've got one hell of a good topic today. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, no doubt, Andy. So yeah, we're going to be talking about B2B platforms and B2C platforms, and can they effectively support B2B commerce? This is a hot topic, Andy. We've got a lot of people joining us today. And of course, in this session, we want to hear from you. We want to make our person in the hot seat very uncomfortable. That's what the hot seat's for. And we're going to ask the tough questions. So please submit your questions as we go through the session today, right there in the Q&A box, right here in Zoom. So I'm really excited, Andy, about this topic today. Again, the topic is e-commerce solution providers that serve B2C well. Can they also serve B2B? So I want to know who we have in the hot seat today. Robert, who do we have? Wow, I would not want to be in that hot seat. And Sachin Wadhawan, I hope you are wearing your neoprene pants, my friend, because you are going to be in the hot seat. Sachin is with BigCommerce. He's a VP there. And Sachin, welcome to the hot seat. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? You have 5 seconds, my friend. Go.
All right. Thank you, Brian and Andy. Very excited to be here. This is Sachin Wadhawan. I'm the VP of Tech Partnerships here at BigCommerce. I'm in Austin, Texas, and the hot seat, along with the hot Austin weather, is very hot right now. So I'm feeling the heat.
All right, you're already feeling it. Are you sweating?
I'm sweating. I'm sweating. So. But okay, as you can see from my screen, I've already busted the myth.
We haven't even started yet. No, you can't bust the myth. You have to prove it first, my friend.
I've claimed the victory, so let's get into it.
All right, let's go. Andy, you fire away. First question, please.
Yeah, so a lot of money has gone into the B2B space. So many B2C, traditionally B2C vendors with a heritage in B2C who supported platforms, solutions in B2C who are now migrating over to the B2B space. And one of the areas that we often see they struggle with is complex catalogs, complex pricing. I mean, you may have millions of SKUs, billions or even trillions of pricing combinations with contract pricing. You know, you guys can't handle this, right? I mean, B2C companies can't do this kind of work.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely we can. There is majority of the B2B businesses that we see that are huge, large enterprises with thousands of SKUs, millions of transactions. We can handle those on our platform. When you talk about complex catalogs, B2C is familiar with complex catalogs, right? Absolutely, price list and some of the features that you mentioned are B2B specific, but we can absolutely handle that. Now, if you're doing trillions of transactions and you have a lot of complexity on the B2B side, there are other solutions that are better suited. But when we think about mid-market B2B businesses, we are a great fit for those businesses.
Okay, fine. But what about permissions, workflows? Sachin, talk to us. So look, B2B is different than B2C. And everyone's, it's platforms say, hey, it's the same. We're just, the millennials are just coming over and, they're going to just want, good site search and pretty pictures. Let's talk about B2B is different, right? Let's talk about, yes, let's talk about workflow. Yes, it is, Sachin. Let's talk about workflows, okay? Now, in a B2B working environment, you see this with, companies like Amazon now doing, with Amazon Business and all these complex workflows, accommodating the buyer permissions. So if I'm a business owner, let's take your mid-market example. Let's go right to the core here, right? I'm a seller. I've got a business buyer who then wants to buy for their business, but assign people within their their business, perhaps a branch owner or an office manager or someone else,
Yeah.
the ability to make purchases on behalf of that business. B2C platforms cannot support that. Prove me wrong.
Well, I'll challenge you on that. So take an example of Uplift Desk, right? We all went through the pandemic and we all were like working from home, and now we need home office setup. So we all bought standing desks, right? And that's what Uplift Desk manufacturers, one of the largest manufacturers of ergonomic office supplies, right? They started the business with B2C. And slowly they started to see that it wasn't the individual employees that were buying, it's the employers and businesses. So they have customers like NBC, they have customers like MIT, which is a university. So imagine if somebody at a MIT is buying, stand-up desks for, hundreds and thousands of their campuses, they're not going online and shopping the B2C experience. They are going online and using payment terms and, different checkout experiences, different price lists based on region. So that's a good example and a case study for us that's doing both B2C and B2B on the same platform.
Interesting. Okay. Andy, by the way, for your purpose, MIT is Massachusetts Institute of Technology. It's a college. So I just helping my friend out here. So got it. So you're saying that in that case, MIT is allowing its business buyers to buy, maybe a local campus or a local department. So you're saying that you can support multiple steps and multiple workflows.
Absolutely. And the difference here is that, and I was joking about B2C and B2B same, right? I know that if you're a B2B business, there are, the way you engage with your customers and the way you do transaction online is very different, right? I think the point I'm trying to make is from a technology standpoint, Brian, the features don't have to speak B2C or B2B, right? The features can apply to the business model, right? When you log into BigCommerce, you don't see a button that says, click here because I want to do B2B stuff, or click here because I want to do B2C stuff. Things like abandoned cart, things like checkout, things like personalization, things like customer support, right? All of those are neutral to commerce. Now, if as a business, when you're engaging with your B2C consumers, you can use those same features when you're engaging with your B2B consumers.
Okay, but you got to fall down on, but payment terms. There's no way you can do
Absolutely.
quoting. Okay, so you can actually take. I can pay over time. If I'm MIT, I can pay over time.
You can pay over time. You can pay ACH. We can do L3 support, right? You can do trade credits. I mean, all of that is configured. Now, remember, as a platform, you have to be partner first, and we have to invest in our partner ecosystem to make sure that we have payment partners that specialize in B2B. And we have to make sure we have payment partners that specialize in B2C. Same thing applies to shipping. Same thing applies to, other like PIMs, right? There are PIMs and search.
Wait. You're changing the subject. All right. What about quoting? Tell me about quoting.
Great example. So quoting, quote management, CPQ, are all this, punch outs, right? All the features that are specific to B2B. We've had partner solutions in our marketplace that offer that. And actually last year as a platform, we acquired 2 companies that did those quoting and quote management. And now those features are built natively into our platform, right? And, we have to have those features, Brian, because this interesting trend we see where when B2C businesses grow, right, they start to adopt more B2B use cases. Uplift Desk is a great example of, they didn't start with B2B, but they grew into that, right? Farmer Boy is another a great example, 25-year, long B2B industry player selling livestock machinery. They primarily sold to ag corporations, family farmers, but then they started to see that hobbies, right? Individuals like you and me that want to have a chicken coop in our backyard need the same, tools that they're offering, right? So incorporating that B2C into the same, using the same platform was really critical for them.
And he's got lots of chicken coops in his backyard.
Yeah, I
have a feeling.
I was going to ask if Brian has any chicken coops in the backyard. That would really fit in with the LA theme, wouldn't it? Okay, so Sachin, another feature that really separates B2B and B2C is that there's kind of this spectrum, right, with B2B and B2C. Well, with B2B. So you can have like self-serve on the one hand, and then you got full serve on the other hand. The one unique feature here is this kind of middle area, which is a hybrid environment, where somebody might buy the first product initially from a sales rep, and then over time it's replenished in a self-serve environment. There's an art and a science about doing that Do you have any examples of how BigCommerce, for example, is even able to do that? Because if you can't do that, you can't do B2B.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we can support that, and it's in our world, just because you're doing D2C in this scenario, right, or even B2B, just because you're doing that doesn't replace your sales organization, right? So for a business, all the e-commerce platform is enabling you is complement your sales organization, so that buyer that you've had 10-year relationship with can still purchase that first product, through the engagement because they're learning about the product new. But ongoing, you can do subscription management. You can have reorder capabilities. So this way, you don't have to go through the entire buying purchase when you just want to say, "Hey, just reorder the last 10 things that I placed last month." That's very easy to do.
So what about customer service? Let's say somebody calls in and they want to look at a product that's already been purchased, and the customer service agent wants to be able to go in and edit or modify that particular transaction. Are you capable of offering that functionality?
Absolutely. Customer service is really important. That's actually one of the areas where, both B2C and B2C are unique or similar in the sense that customers expect, just because I'm buying B2B doesn't mean I can't do returns online, or, I don't get text messages when my order is shipped, et cetera. But yeah, you can absolutely do even on the customer service side. Now, what we see complexity around B2B, which maybe some platforms can do, is how well they integrate to the ERP, right? So there may be large complexity. You're talking about SAP Business One. You're talking about, NetSuite, Sage 100. Our platform integrates well. So when a customer service rep logs in, right, they have full view into the historical records of that customer, and they can deliver that excellent customer service that those merchants expect.
All right, Sachin, you're sounding like Shopify. Shopify says, yeah. So Shopify, they talk about B2C or B2B as kind of an evolution of B2C, right? That's the way you've been talking. If I'm a B2B company, why should I consider, a BigCommerce and other solutions like that have the legacy of B2C?
Ryan, I'm not doing my job right if I'm sounding like Shopify here. It's a big difference. A lot of people put us in the same bucket because we both have roots in B2C. Absolutely. We're hyper-focused on B2B as a platform and hyper-focused on mid-market as a platform, right? We've been doing B2B for many years, right? And we've had both customers and partners in our ecosystem, both tech partners and agencies that specialize in B2B. So yes, there are similarities, but there are a lot of differences when you look under the covers and start to see the native features, right? Native features that are built into the platform, like price list, like account hierarchy, like workflows and permissions that you're talking about. These are all natively built into the platform that our B2B customers can use and B2C customers can use when they move into the B2B business model.
Okay, let's talk about shipping. I want to know about shipping. So B2B's shipping is often different. Ship to a job site, pick up at the branch, ship on my own account, things like that.
All of that is supported. Again, very common shipping partners, Shipper HQ and ShipStation, partners like that come into play on the B2B side. If you're doing LTL freight, if you're doing those different shipping configurations, if you're doing buy online, pick up to the store, all of that is supported either natively or through partner solutions like Shipper HQ.
Okay. What do you got, Andy?
Well, one thing I'd like to know about is, if BigCommerce is going to take on the pure B2B scenarios. And what I mean by that is maybe there are companies out there who've never sold, online. They sell through resellers. They don't have any plan to sell D2C, direct to customer. Maybe they just want to, sell through their partners. Are you able to handle that kind of scenario? Because there are solutions out there that are almost purpose built for that. And it's really not something that leverages a B2C heritage very well. But what would you say to that?
So they're just to clarify, they are B2B businesses that don't want to do direct to consumer, but they just want to sell through their seller distributors, right?
Yeah.
Simple answer to that, Andy, is you put a login in the front, right? Just because you have an online store doesn't mean that it's open for all consumers. And we see a lot of businesses like that would just have a login. They still so individuals can still browse the catalog, right? You can still learn about the information, but for you to be able to see the price, for you to be able to make a transaction or add, even generate a quote, You have to go through a login. You have to be an authorized buyer to be able to do that. Now, another thing I would add to that is it's not uncommon that more and more B2B first businesses come to us, right? And the reason they're coming to us is because of that D2C angle, right? There's something about, they definitely have the need where they want to bring their transactions online, right? Maybe not all of it, but maybe some portion of their transactions online because they want to have their products available 24/7, right? But it's the D2C, right? They may come online, and because we lower the threshold for experimentation, they may start to say, well, maybe I can sell some of these accessories, or maybe I can carve out a portion of my segment that doesn't want to buy it through calling me or faxing me orders, right? They want to buy it through going online and purchasing it, right? So we see those scenarios often at all that, B2B kind of trends into doing more and more D2C.
So there's in many B2B use cases such, and there's highly configurable products. There are configuration requirements, compatibility requirements. These are technical products. They might be components. We might be talking about, I don't know, equipment and components of equipment that are used, in repair, or equipment used together with other things, maybe chemicals or consumables that work with certain things. These are highly complex businesses. This isn't selling T-shirts, man. We're talking about, taking a piece of equipment and understanding what it's made of and finding the right piece of equipment. If you buy the wrong thing, the thing blows up and you lose $1 million investment. That's an entirely different level of shopping journey, really, of buying journey.
It is. If the platform, Brian, is built to be open, right? Open architecture where it can be customized and modified, all of that is possible, right? I'll give you an example of Clarion Safety, right?
Okay.
They manufacture, one of the largest manufacturer of, those signs, the safety signs that you see at, dental office or your doctor's office and things like that. Imagine the buying experience of that, right? How much compliance is involved in it before you buy, 1,000 stickers that you want to put in your brochures, right? There's a lot of complexity there, right? So if you go to clarionsafety.com, right, you'll see that it starts off as a B2C experience, right? It's got nice design and nice navigation. Once you start clicking on it, the amount of material data sheets they have, the amount of PDF and compliance information that goes into it, it's very complex, right? Mm-hmm. And where are you going to use those stickers, right? And how are those going to get shipped? All of that, there's a lot of complexity in it, and we handle that. We handle that fine, right? One of the areas that we really pride ourselves in is having a large agency ecosystem. So sometimes B2B customers will work with those agencies to say, this is how we want BigCommerce to be implemented. This is what needs to be customized. If the platform supports, is open SaaS and it supports that, it gives agencies all the power to be able to build the experiences that they want.
Okay. Can we talk about that
You look convinced, Brian. I'm really impressed. You look very convinced.
I look skeptical. Come on, keep going. Go ahead, Andy.
Yeah, I have a question about the agencies you mentioned. So ecosystems support B2B are very different from B2C.
Yeah.
So as you've made this transition into B2B, tell us a bit more about, how you're dealing with, recruiting partners who look at BigCommerce and say, yeah, I could use this for B2B versus, oh, those guys are great at B2C.
We sell our platform, right? For the agencies, there are agencies that specialize in B2B. There are agencies that only do B2C. Many agencies do both, right? And it's, again, the value of our platform, the flexibility of our platform, the openness of our platform. What agencies need, we're the technology tools for the agencies to be able to realize the vision that their customers need, right? And our platform is open SaaS and more flexible. We naturally attract those agencies. To that point, since we have been, for the last many years, we've been focused on B2B and B2C equally. We have recruited, B2B tech partners to make sure that our B2B customers have equal access to the best in breed partner solutions in our marketplace, as well as B2B agencies, so those agencies can implement, the sites for those customers. So it is very important. The ecosystem is very important to us, and we are a partner first platform.
So Brian, I want to follow up on that for a second. So you have this marketplace where you have these extensions similar to what Adobe has with the Magento ecosystem. Do you struggle to convince B2B companies that what you have in your ecosystem, what you have in your extension marketplace is industrial strength capability versus something that's kind of just developed custom by a systems integrator? In other words, if you download the app, so to speak, do people trust it?
Yeah, they absolutely do. And there's a difference when I think extensions, I think in a lot of ecosystems, it's somebody's building an extension, it's open source, and you're as a merchant, you're out at their mercy on what quality of extension did they really build. So there is a risk involved, and there's usually objection to should I have a live website, right? That's transacting thousands of transactions every day. Do I really want to install this extension? Will it blow up my website? We take a very different approach. Every app in our marketplace, before it's live, it goes through data security and performance testing, because the benefit that we're giving to our merchant is we know we want to stay in e-commerce. Again, Brian, going back to your Shopify comparison, we don't want to do other things. We want to continue to build core e-commerce capabilities, and we rely on our partner ecosystem to add those complementary features, right? So these apps are really important for us, but it's not just any apps, right? We work very closely with our tech partners to build the best-in-class integrations to our platform, so it's more seamless for our customers when they're using, one or multiple solutions along with BigCommerce.
Okay, so listen, folks on the line today, we got like 50 trillion of you. Throw your questions in here. We've only got about 9 minutes left. So
My seat's so hot.
We want some questions. We got to make this guy uncomfortable. So throw your questions in here, okay? Sachin, I want to know about the Salesforce, okay? You talk about, this isn't going to a retail store and browsing and trying on a blouse. This is about a serious salesperson in an office calling on a customer, being enabled with digital tools that are somehow tied together with e-commerce. So what are you doing to enable the Salesforce?
Look, Salesforce have cell phones, right? They have iPads. If you've got cell phone, you've got iPad, you've got online commerce, right? Do they really need to tell their buyer, like, go on the computer and buy this now? They don't, right? So natively, we're mobile optimized, right? We are available, all the time, right? On available, right, all the time. The one thing I would say that there are partner solutions like Skynamo comes to mind, where you want that experience to be like an iPad experience where I am collecting orders, but I'm not transacting just yet, right? So it really depends on what kind of Salesforce enablement you're talking about, Brian. But a lot of times what we see is the sales reps are out there showcasing the products to the customer, which they can do that by browsing the catalog, right? That's not a problem. But they may not want to, transact at that time. They may just want to collect orders.
Okay. So, everybody's mobile optimized, Sachin. So, every platform can make that claim. So, but what I'm talking about is integration to the CRM system and things like that, right? So that the salesperson is informed when they're sitting in front of the customer with what that customer is looking at online, what they've added to their shopping cart, those kinds of things.
We do that, and and everybody can be mobile optimized, but there's a level. Again, I wouldn't get too much into it, but there's a headless component to it, which is also a big differentiator for us, right? How well are you mobile optimized, or do you just have a website that renders nice on a phone, right?
Andy, he used the H word. He used the H word.
Maybe for a different conversation, Brian.
All right, okay, all right. We'll have to do another hot seat here. We got a question from Gordon. He says, Gordon says, "Hey, talk about taxes and your commitment to improving Avalara integration." All right, Gordon, good question.
We may have to take that offline. I believe we have a great integration with Avalara. It's a very common, tax solution that many of our B2B and B2C customers use already. So
he just dodged the question, Gordon. He dodged the question. He says he'll answer. He says he'll answer it later.
Well, I want to know what specific.
Total dodge. You said he called you out, man. He said total dodge. Look at that. You go, Gordon. That's right. Listen,
the seat's getting hotter.
It should be getting hotter. It should be. Thank you. More questions, please, from our audience. We've got about 5 minutes left. So, guys, but take us down that path a little bit. Taxes are different, are complicated, Sachin. These are, you've got tax exempt buyers. You got people using the products in OEM and factories. They're not paying tax on it. I mean, you can't do that. You can't handle that.
We do that. We do support with the Clarion Safety example, the Farmer Boy example. I mean, we have many B2B customers that are leveraging those same tax solutions. It could be Avalara, it could be Vertex, it could be other solutions that that provide those features. Again, we have to rely on our ecosystem and ensure that we have the best in breed applications available to our customers, integrated to us, so they can deliver those capabilities and services that their customers need. So I have not heard that some customer did not choose BigCommerce platform because we couldn't support their taxes.
Okay. All right. That's good. Andy, what do you got?
I got one final question. B2B companies do a lot of punch out, and customers don't want to be able to punch out through a system.
Yeah.
That's not something you can just, attach. You can form partnerships, but that takes a while to get right. Have you guys gotten that right yet? Or are you still work in development?
No, we've gotten that right. We've got more than couple punch out partners. Trade-centric is the one that comes to mind. And, there's procurement systems that we have integrations to. So, punch out is not a problem for us. We can handle that. Again, through partner solutions, right? We don't have native capabilities built in for punch outs, but the partners, I don't want us to take partner solutions not seriously, because again, as I mentioned, we invest a lot in those integrations. So it's not just to add a partner logo to our directory and boom, we've got that solution, right? We're working with the trade-centric team to make sure that as we continue to enhance features like multi-storefront and others, that these partners are enhancing their integrations and their solutions along with our platform.
Sachin, are you guys a platform yourself, or are you just a bunch of amalgamation of other solutions? What do you guys do?
Great question. We are a platform. We are an enterprise-grade e-commerce platform, and that's what we want to continue to be, Brian. We don't want to do anything else other than core e-commerce.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So one final question for me: where do you stop? In other words, you've got this core. How do you make a decision on where to go for a third-party solution versus what you develop in-house?
That's a great question. I mean, we have a pretty large tech partner team that I oversee, and the biggest focus for that team is to identify are there gaps in our current platform or roadmap, areas that we're not even touching that a third party solution can support. And it's my team's responsibility and our team's responsibility to make sure that go engage with those partner solutions and make sure that they invest in building that integration. And sometimes customers tell us that they used to use this technology with a previous platform and they would love to have that on BigCommerce, and we'll reach out to those partners and get them on board.
Okay. All right.
So it's an evolving journey.
Okay. Well, Sachin Wadhalan, you did a good job. And we'll see after this hot seat session here, this Mythbuster session, how many calls we get here saying whether you busted the myth or not. I know you wrote it on your whiteboard.
I've already claimed it.
You already claimed it, but we're going to hear from our community of practitioners.
I'll just reiterate that B2B plus B2C on the same platform is not just better, but it's bigger together.
Oh,
that's what we see with our customers.
There you go. Bigger together, BigCommerce. I like the plan words. Excellent. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. It was a great conversation. Sachin did a good job from BigCommerce. Thank you again for your sponsorship of this event. And we'll see you guys on the next Unwebinar and the next Mythbusters. We'll see who's on the hot seat next time. Andy, thanks for joining.
See you later.